So la tabula rasa means the clean slate. It's a concept for a clean slate, and it's a supposed condition that empiricists have attributed to the human mind before ideas have been imprinted on by the reaction of the senses to the external world of objects. Which means that, in a certain way, it's people. What up? Salut, c'est ton ami Chris Ben de Toulouse, ton ami de longue date. I'm trying to recognize from the photo, but I don't. But yo, what up, Chris Ben? So you know what they believe is that the mind is born completely empty, like a white piece of paper, and it's the connection with the outside world that will create your personality, because when you're born, you're just born, and then as you move on life and you're interacting with people and everything else, this is when you start developing your personality. And the way I always took it, because you know, the reason why I like Buddhism is that, it contrary to a lot of other religions, I see it more like a philosophy instead of dogmas that are imposed on people. I believe that, and this is also why I hate cancel culture. I don't like all these activist groups, because they don't want to be understood, they want to impose. And the concept of the tabula rasa, the way I always used it personally, is, you see, if life is a table, and let's say you have your parents, experience with your parents, experience with your friends, experience with family, and this is what is slowly filling your table with different objects, right? So you're gonna put something here, put something there, and all these become, let's say this is your table. And then you might arrive at a point in your life where you're so full of experiences, and all these experiences, some of them become intelligence, some of them are the fabric of your personality, some of them are traumas as well, and some of them are victories. And as you are moving on life, you are filling your table with a lot of objects, memories, good things, bad things. And some people, they keep everything on the table forever. And look, the concept of the tabula rasa is at a point, the question of, the way I use it personally is that at a point in life, sometimes you just have to take everything and remove everything from the table, so you can start new, and you can start and you can add some space for new things on the table. And the reason why I'm talking about these concepts is because I was talking with a friend. And I was telling him, you know, every time I speak to you, you always talk to me about traumas and about weights that you are lifting and you are dragging from the past. And some of these weight is not even your weight. Some of these weight is the weight from your parents that you decide, they didn't ask you, but you decide to take them, and you decide to continue lifting whatever they left you. And at the same time, you complain that you don't move fast enough to your liking. So this becomes a problem because instead of living your life, you don't start your life with your own slate. You start your life, or you arrive at this point in your life with a slate with your memories, the memories of your parents, the memories of your family, the problems of your family, the problems of your parents, and you inherit all the problems that you have at a point to do what we call a tabula rasa. In French, we say table rase. You have at a point to clean your slate and to decide to move away from your life. And not everybody is able to do this. A lot of people are completely obsessed and stuck with whatever they are dragging with them. And some people, they don't drag one problem, they drag 10 of them. They're there, and they don't want to let go. And I was having this conversation with my cousin. My cousin, when he lost his father, he inherited a huge empire in Congo, but he was living in Brussels. So he ended up having to change his life to take over the family empire, and which is it's a responsibility that I understand. But at a point, he realized that it is time. Yes, he realized that at a point it was time to change things to his liking and not repeat the mistakes of the parents, and or the choice of the parents or the choice of the parents. So maybe they chose to run this operation like this, but now that you are the one running the operation, you're going to change it to how it works for you, or maybe how your intelligence tells you that it would be better running this way. But it took him years to arrive to that point, right? When I was explaining to my friend, because he was talking to me about yeah, but I have land in my house, in my home country, that I have to do this, I have to do that. And I was like, you don't live there. Me, it's the same thing. I don't live there. We live in Europe. I've been in Europe for 41 years. I've been in Europe for 41 years. I arrived here, I was 7. I lived in France for 32 years. I left France at 39. I moved to Portugal. I've been in Portugal, no, 38, sorry. I moved to Portugal at 38. It's been 10 years. I'm 48 now. So it means that when I decided to move away from France, I did my own tabula rasa. I decided that I was changing my label to a completely virtual label. I was giving freedom to all the artists of the label, because I didn't want, and in the business sense, it didn't make no sense to me to be in the Zouk business, because I was seeing it as a business that was failing, and I don't want to be. I was like, oh, I'm out, and I was just stressed out and tired of that city, the ways of people in France, etc. I was just done with it. So I didn't say, oh, let me move to Portugal and spend all my weekends in Paris. I moved. When I moved, took a new place, and I didn't keep the same friends, not friends, but connections. I was not like in Portugal and speaking French all the time with only French people. Now, I learned to speak Portuguese. I got married here. I got a kid. She doesn't speak French. And everybody, oh, you should teach her French. No, I don't. She will learn what she wants to learn. I prefer she speaks Portuguese, English, and Chinese personally. And yeah, she can speak French as a fourth option, not because I don't like the language, but just because it makes more sense for her future. And when people tell me, yeah, but you have to teach her, is because for them, they moved here maybe for financial reason, but their heart is still there. My heart is not there. My heart is here. And my vision is not there. My vision is this way, and it's here that it happens. So a lot of people, they don't have this ability to, and the thing is not to forget everything you learned. The thing is not to forget who you are. The thing is, at a point, you have to start asking yourself, okay, am I in a crossroads in my life? We arrive in the crossroads of our lives every 7 years, 10 years. Once you are there, you have to ask yourself, which way I'm taking. Am I staying in the same course, or am I done with what I'm doing? Personally, when I left France, I was done with everything I did in the Zouk business. I felt it, and it was not that there was not more things to do. It's just that things were changing, and it was an opportunity to change, do something else. That's exactly what I did. I went completely digital. I left everything. Listen, apartment, furniture, computers, everything. I just came here with a laptop, my Mac, 2 boxers, 1 pair of jeans, and 2 t-shirts. That's it. And I came here to start something new. Yeah, I was already making my money, so I was doing my things online. But I didn't come here to recreate everything that I was doing in Paris in a new place. You see what I mean? Oh, Bruno, you sent me a message. I'm going to check it after. Yeah. I was not coming here to redo the same thing. And actually, at a point, I start trying to do the same things here. Like I try to open a new publishing, get some beat makers, etc., etc. Once I had a problem with 1 or 2 of them, I realized, no, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore because I see that the stress that it brought me back when I was there, I'm going to bring that stress here. And the same thing, people were calling me from Paris to talk to me about all the bullshit from Paris. At a point, I start telling people, hey, when I call you to know about you, let's talk about the kids, let's talk about life, let's talk about movies, let's talk about series. Don't talk to me about the bullshit from Paris, because there's a reason why I'm away from there. I'm away from there to move on to something new. And it takes a lot of courage to do it. It takes a lot of courage. It's not like you just leave everything. But at a point, we all have to ask ourselves, when is it time for that moment when we go to a clean slate? When we let the trauma behind us. You know that a lot of people, they're obsessed by their own traumas. They don't want to let go of their traumas because, yeah, they cherish those traumas. I was telling my friend, we were having a long conversation about, all these activists, they want you to feel the way they feel. And to give you an example, let's invest in Africa, right? Some people, that's what they want to do. And that's great because, yeah, Africa needs investment. But when it comes to a personal level, maybe you feel great in Portugal, right? Or maybe you feel great in England, or maybe you feel great in the US, or maybe you feel great in Spain, or in Russia, or in China, Japan, Malta, wherever you feel great. So if you have $1 million on your bank account, do you have to invest it in Congo just because this is where you come from, this is where give you that, etc., all the things people will tell you to make you feel bad? If your life is in Italy or wherever it is, and your family and your future, you see it in this country. If you feel that part of your renaissance is to move back to Congo or to wherever in Africa or in Asia, wherever you come from, more power to you. But you have to ask yourself this question for you, not for other people. You see what I mean? So me personally, I was talking to my friend, and my friend lived his whole life between Miami and Brussels. And me, I've been between Paris and now Portugal. And he's married, kids in Brussels. I'm married and kids in Portugal. If I have $1 million, I'm gonna buy a house where? In Portugal. Because that's where I'm raising my daughter. This is where I see my foreseeable future. This is the place I chose for me. Now, it doesn't mean that I wouldn't invest if I have another $1 million that I want to invest. Yeah, I might try some stuff in Congo or some other places, but I might invest it in Miami better. It's a personal thing. And a lot of people are trying to force you into the collective emotion of the change that and the things you have to drag with everybody else. But at a point, you need to be about yourself. You need to be about yourself and about, okay, what do I have on my slate? What do I have on the table? And when I need to clean the table to recreate my life and maybe to see what I'm keeping and what I'm not keeping, now you have to ask yourself, okay, where do I want to live? I was having this conversation with Bodhisattva actually 2 days ago. And we're talking about the future, about music, about DJing for him, about all these things. And I was telling him, and we were talking about, him not going to Central Africa for a long time, about him not the DJ business, about what he wants to do in the future. And I was telling him, hey bro, I'm 10 years older than you. I've went through that whole evolution from being a performing artist, doing shows every week, 2 times per week, to not doing shows and still making more money than yesterday. But I did this transition successfully because I was thinking of not doing shows 10 years before not doing shows. So, 20 years ago, I was like, all right, listen, what's next? And I was preparing myself for the next phase of my life. And at a point, when I moved to Portugal, I was still doing a lot of shows, but less than before, but still doing a lot of shows. But I was starting to make money from YouTube, make money from Spotify, iTunes, etc. I was making money from selling my t-shirt and my clothing. I was starting to make a lot of money online, and my goal was like, okay, let's say fake numbers. Let's say I make let's say my rent in Paris is 1,000 every month, and life in Paris costs another 2,000 every month. So I need 3,000 to survive, right? And let's say I make let's say every show I make 1,000, and every month I make 5 shows. So that's 5,000, and YouTube generates 500. So that's 505, and maybe copyrights, SACEM, whatever, is another 1,000. So that's 6,005 every month coming. And in 2008, I'm like, all right, listen, in around 2, 3, 4 years, I'm moving to Portugal. But in Portugal, it's going to be harder to do shows because instead of just taking a train, I'm going to have to take the planes every time somebody wants me to do a show in France. So I might take a plane and a train. So some people might not be able to afford it and whatever. And maybe the market is going to change. All right. I worked for 4 years to be able to turn the 5,000 coming from shows to 5,000 coming from the internet, meaning from Spotify, from YouTube, etc., etc. So what I did, I made sure that YouTube, instead of generating 500 per month, generated 1,005. And then the less shows I was doing, the more music I was putting online. And instead of thinking of, hey, I want to do a hit, I want to have a hit because I want to be famous, I was like, I want to have catalog. Instead of doing a hit to be famous, I want to have catalog, because money is in the catalog. Money is when you have 10 songs that are all generating 100 every day. If you have, sorry, not every day, every month. If you have 10 songs that are generating 100 every day, that's 1,000 every month. 1,000 every month, that's one show. Eliminated. Now it's here. You do another 10 songs, 2,000. Another X, more videos on YouTube, etc. At a point when YouTube is generating 2,000 every month and your Spotify is generating 2,000 every month, you at 4,000. That's when I was like, I can move to Portugal. I moved to Portugal and my rent was 700 for something that was way bigger than what I had in Paris, and I was in front of the beach. And because I didn't know nobody, I have no time to, and so I focused on creating content. And at a point I was making the same money. Took some years, took 3-4 years, but at a point I was making the same money that I was doing in shows. I was doing it from Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, the streaming business, the internet. So at a point, I came to a point where I was like, I can live anywhere in the world. And that's where that's when I said to myself, okay, it's time. It's time for me to move to it's time for me to move to a new place, and it's time for me to clean everything. Meaning that cleaning everything is not only cleaning your table, but it's also cleaning what's inside of you. As it is part of this, is also saying to yourself, who are the people I talk to? You know, we don't realize, but we have friends or entourage. We have some people that are very negative, that every time you talk to them, they hate nothing, they like nothing, they hate everything, they hate everybody. And every time you tell them about an idea or something, the first thing they do is shut down the ideas and discourage you from making things happen. You see what I mean? Once you have this type of person in your life, you start asking yourself, wait a minute, like, maybe I should have people in my entourage that are, when I give them an idea and say, hey, you know that 1 + 1 = 2? And they come and they say, hey, 1 + 1 = 2. That's true. But if you put them in brackets and you multiply these by 2, you got 4. Wow. And you move faster together. When you have some other people, hey, you know that 1 + 1 = 2, we could do this, that. They're like, yeah. Why would we do that? 1 + 0, we got 1. And I start pushing those people away. Not saying that I stopped talking to them. I just stopped talking to them every day, and I start talking to them once a month. And I stop talking to them about business ideas. I just start talking to them about the kids, about life in general, about bullshit. And from time to time, yeah, when I want to listen to somebody and talk about some stuff, I call them, but I know that those are negative people that come to you with always negative feelings. At a point, those people, you have to remove them as well from your life. because it's part of cleaning your slate. You start looking at all the people around you, everything, family members, and you start deciding who you keep near you and who you push a little bit away. Another thing you have to do when you're ready to do this, and this is what I was telling my friend, I was like, you have to leave the traumas of the past behind you. They are in the past. You have to not forget, because these are lessons that you're going to use for the future, but you also have to leave them in the past, especially those who are living and dragging with them stuff that was brought to them by their parents. I was talking to a friend who was talking to me about another cousin of mine was talking to me about land. We have a land in Africa, and it's just problems after problems after problems, and cousins calling for you to pay something and pay something else. And he was like, yo, I have to find 500 euros so I can pay those people for this, that, and that. And I was like, but what is your plan with that land? Oh, maybe tomorrow in the future, I will do something, maybe buy something in there. I was like, and I asked him a simple question. I was like, bro, do you plan to live in Africa? Yeah, at a point we all have to come back. Stop talking to me about what YouTube tells you. I'm talking to you about you. Do you plan to move back one day? I mean, listen, I'm not saying if there's a war or something. I said in normal times, if the life, the way you see it, there's no big change in the economies and whatever, do you plan to move to Africa? And he was like, not really. And I was like, so if you don't plan to move, why do you keep spending money on something that was given to you by your parents? I understand. But why don't you just sell that land and take that money and buy a house here where you live, or in France, or wherever you live? Why don't you use that money to invest in the now for you? And he was like, I don't know. And I said, listen, personally, I'm talking about me. I might move to Africa one day, but in the next 10 years, I don't think so. So in the next 10 years, the place where I want to invest my money, the place where I want to invest my time, the place where I want to raise my baby is Portugal. And if I move with her, it's going to be Spain. It's like, she speaks Portuguese. So I'm going to take her to a place where she can speak Portuguese or English. And some people, they want to move to Cape Verde. They want to move to Guinea-Bissau. They want to go back in the country, build a house there. I understand. Some people, it's because it's cheaper. You can buy a terrain for less. I understand. And I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying, stop thinking that what you have to do has to do with what everybody else is doing and what you see on YouTube and what people are telling you, and especially all these people who are advocating for something. Ask yourself about you, because it's not somebody else's table. Again, I told you, I don't like religions for that. I don't like all these activist groups for the same reason. Even if you are LGBT, you are a porn actress, you are a singer, all this, you're part of a group and you have to protect each other, etc. But in the end, it is your life, your choices, and you who is your table. It's not the table of the whole group. It's the school of the whole book if you want, but this is your table. And in your table, you have to take decision and ask yourself for you. So I asked the person again. I said, listen, I'm asking you again, where do you plan to live in the next 10 years? And he told me Brussels. So if you plan to live in Brussels in the next 10 years, or maybe, I said, okay, so if you move from Brussels, where would you go? Mons. But this is still Belgium. Okay, maybe Liège. This is still Belgium. Or maybe I can get a terrain in Louvain. I was like, oh, okay, so you don't plan to ever leave Belgium? Not in the next 10 years. I said, so bro, at a point, if that land that you own is more problems than solutions, either you find a partner that can build something there, somebody that you trust, and it's hard because there's a lot of crooks in this world. Told him, hey, listen, find somebody that you can trust that can build something on that land, and in that land you will share the revenue. Real life example, my parents own a terrain in the center of Kinshasa, in the Lagombe, which is the most expensive neighborhood. And it's been 30 years that they own this, but they don't do nothing there. One Indian guy, a businessman, came, told my father, hey, I would love to build a luxury condo on your terrain since you're not doing anything with it, and we will share 50-50 revenue. I will build 100 apartments. I will give you 50 apartments. You can sell them or rent them, and I'll keep 50 for me. Deal? My dad said, deal. And so I told my friend, if this is something you can do with your terrain, do this. But if there's nothing you can do with that land, forget that it's in Africa and it's you Wakanda forever. Forget about all that. Let's talk about real life. You tired of paying a rent? Sell that land for a good price if you can. Take that money to the bank. Ask for the bank to complete. Buy a terrain or buy a house and start building for you now. Instead of hypothetical things because somebody gave you a house somewhere where you never go, or you have an apartment you own there that brings you nothing but problems, etc., etc. At a point, sometimes you have to move the assets to another place. When I moved from Paris, I moved everything. Closed bank accounts, went from SACEM, which is Right Collecting Society in France, to SPA, which is Right Society Collecting Society in Portugal. Went from ADAMI, which is the French, another right society for performers, to GDA, which is the Portuguese one. Moved everything. Left the house, moved everything. Took my 2, 3, 4 friends that I love, that I talk to all the time, and forgot everybody. And made a new life here with new people. And a lot of people, they stuck in between. They're stuck in between because they don't clean up their table ever. They never clean their table. They're always trying to keep everything. And life is not about keeping everything. Life is not about never forgetting everything. Life is not about whoever you were 20 years ago, you're going to be that person. There's a thing we say in Buddhism that is called, it's a phrase that I live by, which is, life is like a river. You are never in the same water twice. Meaning that the person you are today is not the person you were yesterday. Last minute, before listening to the information I just gave you, you were not the same person. Some of you might be changed a little by this conversation. Some of you might change completely after this conversation. And why? Because the information you get will change you, right? So maybe this information will make you think about all the things that you want to keep just because you want to keep them. I'm going to give you an example. For me, it was heartbreaking. I had the label. I had the #1 artist of Zouk music, Sushi Raw, 2003 till 2007. I was just on the top of the game. Then the game became horrible. People started becoming, there was a lot of money in the game, and people started just becoming money hungry and knives in the back from everywhere. And I realized that I could not keep my personality and keep my positivity and keep the the kindness that I have in my heart, and be in this business where the only way to survive is to lie to people, to lie to artists, and to steal money from artists. Because whenever you say the truth to people, they will follow the liars. Whenever you will tell people, hey, there's a hole here, they will jump in the hole. And it's frustrating. So by 2009, 2010, 2011, I was like, it's time for me to leave everything behind me. And you know what? I could not say to myself, I built all this. I built the label. I built all these careers. Sumia, Elisio, ABG, Tia, Taina, all these people. Like, I did all this. And even if the whole business is a nightmare now, and it's bringing me more stress because of the people, but it's still what I did. So you have like ego, and you have what people are gonna say. People are gonna say that he left everything. He fell off. Ha ha ha. Where is the big Kaysha now? Where are you? That's what I was saying to myself, and this prevented me for 2 years to do the right thing. And then in 2012, in April 2012, I visited an apartment. I think I showed you that apartment before, but I'm going to show it to you again. In 2012, April, where's this gallery? Of course, when I look for stuff, it disappears. There you go. In 2012, huh? Wait a minute. Don't move. I would love to know why this thing is not showing me photos. There you go. All right. So as I was saying, why is this here? There we go. All right. So in 2012, I visited this apartment. The penthouse, top there, and view of the sea, and that was the terrace, and this is the sea here. So I would walk 4 kilometers, and I was on the sea. That was the view from my living room, and where's the video of me in the apartment? I think it's here. No, it's not this one. Is it this one? That was my brand new sofa, blah, 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 blah. The kitchen. No, that's not the video I wanted to show. Where is it? That's the one. From my bedroom, boom. Big TV. Look at this. Look at this terrace. So I visit this place, and the person tells me, listen, I thought it would be for this, because I came from Paris. I thought it would be, I don't know. And there was a nice neighborhood, Oeiras, beautiful, not far from the beach. So I was like, damn, this is gonna cost 3,000 a month. I cannot afford 3,000 a month. But I asked them, hey, how much is it? And they were like, it's expensive. I was like, expensive? How much? And they were like, 750 a month. I was like, how much? 700. Listen, I had 3,000 in my pocket. I told the owner, okay, if you accept me as a tenant, I will give you 3 months in advance right now as we speak, and I will wire you 7,000, so 8,000 and something. I will wire you a whole month a whole year, sorry, of rent. Today, right now, if we sign the contract. And the next day I had the keys of this place. That was the next day. Sign the contract, get the keys, go do the administrative things, get a tax number in Portugal, get electricity, get gas, get the lights, get cable, everything. I had, of course, somebody helping me on that, and bought the sofa that you see, that white sofa. I bought it. I just gave it away last week. I just got the new one. I got this sofa for 10 years. Got the sofa, got a new bed. I'm still using the same bed. Got a new bed. And I came back from Paris and I just told every artist, in 1 month, I'm leaving to Portugal. And everybody was like, what? So yeah, I'm leaving to Portugal and everybody's free. You're free to continue working with me. We will work from the internet, but everybody's free. I have no artists anymore that nobody is bind to me from any contract. We continue to do singles. I have a strategy in my head for the future. I understand that you guys don't understand yet, but everything is going to be streaming. So this business that we have, it's not going to work tomorrow. I know that nobody believes me, but who wants to follow me, follow me. Who doesn't want to follow me, it's all good. We stay friends. And that was me leaving all the ego and the shackles of and the weight of everything that I built in Paris, because it was time for me to go somewhere else. And I was still the owner of all these catalogs, so it was generating money. It's just that the rest of your careers is up to you now, because you guys are big. The same way that when my mom said, hey, we're moving back in Congo and we're building a house there and the war is over, 20 years ago when my mom told this, and she said, it's time to find you a place. In 6 months, I hope you find an apartment. Well, and I had to move and find a place to stay. So I arrived, I called my landlord and I said, hey, in 1 month, I'm out. What? Yep. So you have 1 month to find a new tenant. I called my friend Blaise, who was the producer of Les DS. I told him, hey, come to my house, get all the material, computers, drives. I kept my drives, of course, my hard drives with my information, but all the computers, format everything. I said, listen, you have your own studio. Take whatever you need, screens, all that stuff. I called my ex-girlfriend. I said, hey, what do you want in the house? What you mean? Just tell me what you want from the house. And she was like, oh, the wardrobe. I said, yep. Okay, what else? Oh, my bed, I want the bed. Okay, the bed, what else? What else can I take? I said, you want the TVs? Because I already have new TVs. You have new TVs? Yes, I have new TVs. And she said, can I have the TVs? Yeah, you can have the TVs. Okay. Living room TV, bedroom TV, the bed, the thing. What else you want? Can I have the frying this, the I said, listen, I'm leaving everything. So she came home. She told me everything that she wanted. I called people I called the movers, and the movers came. I gave them her address and they took everything. They packed everything. And then they sent everything to her, and she's still sleeping in. I mean, now she's in New York now, but until she left from Paris to New York, she was still using that bed, and she probably left it to a little sister now. And everything that we have in the house, I think she gave the TV to her dad, and she kept the other TV, whatever. And then all my clothes, the thing, I threw everything away, because I came here to do the next chapter of my life, not to continue the old one. And I remember exactly 24th or 27th of May in 2012. I got emotional because I left my apartment after 7 years. And I did what I do every time I move from a place. I thank the soul of my apartment. I thank the karma of my apartment, the soul of my apartment, the energy of my apartment for protecting me from everything I lived there. And yeah, I was emotional, teary, and I looked my house for the last time and I said, thank you. And I closed the door. I gave the door to my landlord and I went to the airport and I closed my bank account and I arrived here. And then the next day I was waking up to this view. And I was like, yep, new life. And I remember I posted this picture on Instagram, this one. And I posted and I wrote new life. And then I designed my own desk. And I had 2 people come and do my own desk for me. And they did my desk. And then when the thing was over, there it was, done with my computer, my and this desk is here. I moved with this desk to the new house. All this to say that at a point, I left everything behind me, and that's the best thing I did, because all the people who were laughing, thinking that I was running away, today they crying because they're like, oh damn, you had the vision. Everybody is now trying to move to Portugal. And after 6 months, I realized that I came here to find peace. I came here to find peace of mind, a different life. I came here to have a family. I came here to find somebody and raise a baby. I was ready for this life, and I was ready to leave behind fame and running around, taking a plane. I was taking a plane every 2-3 days. I had so many, I meet so many miles. I went around the world 3, 4, 5 times. And at a point, my back was hurting. I was just, doing shows. And at a point, I was like, I'm done. I love performing, but I'm done. And I love having hits, but I don't need to have more hits. And I was like, let me start doing new things. And up to today. And today I'm arriving to the point when this house feels small, and I'm about to get a new one bigger with my own studio, so I can do my club shada, etc., etc. But that's another story. But I know that it took me to this place where, as I was explaining to my friend, if tomorrow I get I have my plantation in Congo, but my mom handles that. But if tomorrow I had to choose between going back to Kinshasa and supervising stuff there, etc., or selling everything and buying myself an apartment or 2 apartments, apartments for my kids and maybe a land or whatever, I would do it here, because this is the place I chose for me. And it's not a question of where you come from and all that bullshit all these people tell you. It's about you. It's about me, how I feel and what I want to do. And a lot of people, listen, they want to just put weight on you. You should do this because you are. No, I don't have to. It's the same thing when people tell me, hey, you need a new hit so you can tour and you can go perform. And I tell them, you don't understand that I make 300 euros per day. Whatever I tour or not, I don't need to tour. I can use my time to build other things more exciting. The show, 226 episodes. I couldn't do this if I was performing all the time back then. All the catalog I'm doing, the house music I'm doing, thinking of making movies, series for Netflix, etc., etc., writing for other people, all that stuff. You can do it if you free your mind for what you were doing before. And it's something that people don't want to do. Everybody's here talking about, I want to change my life, but they don't do nothing to change their life. They don't want to make space in their life to do something else. So at a point, that was my own experience, and that's how I realized that, oh my God, I did a tabula rasa. That's what I did 10 years ago. And I didn't really realize it. I was not thinking about it. It's just that all the things I learned in philosophy brought me here, brought me to this moment. And I was telling my friends, I had a few conversations this week about this. And I was talking to Buddy, I was talking to another friend of mine, Jack, I was talking to a few people, and I was telling them, hey guys, like, wow, like, are we Africans? Yeah, why not? I said, because I think I'm European or Afro-European. I don't know how, not in terms of where we come from, but who we are today. Like, my daughter speaks Portuguese, not Lingala, not French, not Lingala, not French, Portuguese. And you have to ask yourself, like, yo, listen, look, like, I have one kid that speaks French, another one that speaks Portuguese, and I'm about to buy a house in Portugal. So this is my future. You see what I mean? And this is something where a lot of people, they don't want to have this hard conversation with themselves. And I was talking to a friend today that I know from 25 years. And she was telling me about something that she's been going through for the last 19 years. And I cannot give details because it's her personal stuff. But she has been going through the same bullshit for 19 years. And I was like, okay, so let me ask you something. So what is going on right now? You've been there before. And she's like, yep. And I'm like, so you've been crying for a month about something that you've experienced before, and you know how it ends, right? And she was like, yes. And I was like, and you plan to, when everything is back to normal, you're gonna stop crying and you're gonna continue for another ride? And she was like, I was like, listen, I cannot do nothing for you. I can listen to you, I can comfort you, I can tell you everything is gonna be all right. But if you don't move, if you don't get out of this boat, if you don't leave this road, it will take you to the same village that you've been going for the last 20 years. Up to you to take the right decisions for you. I'm not going to tell you what to do. It's not my life, it's your life. But it seems to me that you know what you have to do. And I said, listen, love you, bye-bye. And then she sent me a message. She said, thank you so much. And I was like, it's normal. Sometimes we really need to ask ourselves, who am I? You know, I have a lot of my friends who are stuck in the past, who keep telling me, yo, okay, you need a new on dit quoi. You need to make a hit so that I can sell your shows and we can make money like back in the days. Let's go. And we're going to make a ton of shows. And I'm there in Congo. I'm going to do this. And I got this guy in Ivory Coast and we're going to do that. And I'm like, Because you think I'm 20 years old? You think I'm interested in what I was doing when I was 20? Like, I did the biggest song in Africa. On dit quoi? I did the biggest song in Portugal. Songs, One Love, Fiona, Question My Heart, I Like It, something going, whatever. I did the biggest Zouk songs in 2003. Mes Sentiments, Rendez-moi, Fleurs Sauvages, ABG, Soumia, Eligio's Music, Love de Toi, etc., etc. Why would I need a hit to prove what to who? Nah, but you know, you a superstar. You have to. People cannot say. The truth is, you are trying to sell shows because you're struggling. And you try to make me go back here where you are, where we were making money together when, yeah. So you can get your money off of me. But I'm here. I'm not interested in what is going on here. Leave this for all the kids who are 20 years old now. It's their time. Cool. And I love seeing them win. I love seeing them win. Because everything they're doing now, I was doing that 20 years ago. But I'm here. I like being at home with my daughter and seeing her grow up because I didn't see my son grow up. So I want to leave that. And I love, listen, I live in front of the water. I live in a neighborhood. This is my neighborhood. Where's my neighborhood? You see, this is exactly 5 minutes walking from my house. I'm here every morning to take a walk. Where is it? This is exactly here, down there. If I take the elevator, I'm here in this place in exactly 5 minutes, walking, not running, walking. And you're here talking to me about doing shows when I don't need to do them. If I sleep for 3 days, I make the same money that I did for my show because I've been working for the last 10 years to be here so I can do something else, so I can free myself from the celebrity, the shows, the all that stuff. It's not that I don't like doing them. It's just that I'm done doing them. That mission is complete. People don't know when it's time to say, my mission is complete. People don't know how to do this. They just think that they have to do it forever.